Hi, my name is Jonalyn and I'm with Blossom Lane Farm, and this is one of our wreath kits, and we're going to open it together, and we're going to show you how we make our Christmas wreaths. So if you got one of the kits, follow along, and if you don't have a kit, grab your greenery and follow along anyways. Okay, here we go. So in your wreath kit, you have a wreath, you have your greenery, you have your holly that we got from the farm, and we've got some more greenery, some cedar, we have some juniper, we've got some little ornaments, and then we've got some cinnamon sticks, and you should have 3 pine cones as well. So what you're going to want on your own is make sure you have a good sharp pair of snips and that you have some paddle wire. They're easy to get. I know paddle wire you can get like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. You can order it from Amazon, whatever your preference is, and a good pair of garden snips that most people just have hanging around. Okay, here we go. So when we get started, I like to untie everything, and I kind of make my little packets all together at one time. Okay, here we go. So when you get started with your wreath, you're going to take your paddle wire. We're going to use one continuous piece of paddle wire for the whole entire wreath. We're not going to cut it until the very end when we tie it off. And a couple of things to know about your wreath. This is your wreath. You make it how you want it, and you make sure that if you love your wreath, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter the colors, the design, how you put the pieces together. You make it so it makes you happy. Okay, so ready? So we're going to take your wire, and you're going to hold it with your thumb, and you're just going to wrap it around over top of itself 2 or 3 times, pulling it tight so that when you wrapped it around and you pull it tight, see how it's not slipping? So now you've got good contact. So you're going to start with making your little bundles. You do 1, 2, 3. I usually use all of these guys as the base, and then I'll alternate cedar and princess pine and the holly and the rest of it. Okay, so we're going to do our first one, and these are a little bit long, and we kind of want them all to be the same size. So you're just going to snip them off like this, and then you're going to lay it over top right here, and you are going to wrap again 2, 3, 4 times, probably 3 or 4 times, so it's just a little bit more secure. And I pull tight every time I wrap my wire around, so right like this. And here you go. So when you have a choice with the next one that you put on, when you put your next one on, you can either choose to have a fuller wreath, or you can choose to have a flatter wreath. So if you are putting it on your front door and you have a glass storm door and you don't have very much space, you might want a flatter wreath. And if you're putting it in your house or you're using it as a flat lay, whichever, you can choose for the fuller wreath. So when you're looking at it, when you put it on, if you kind of put it on top, really closely on top of that, you see how big and full it is. And then if you need it flatter, you're just going to lay it down a little bit further so that you've got a flatter and the one behind it is not pushing it up. So we're gonna go for a fuller wreath because, you know, that's what we do. Okay, and you're just gonna wrap this. And don't worry about if you have any like blank spaces or holes like this, because we're going to show you how to fill this in at the end. All right, we're just making the base right now. Okay, so we're going to do our next one. And in this one, I'm putting a little bit of Princess Pine, and I'm also using the holly. And then we're just gonna continue on after this and all the way through, and we'll show you how to finish it off at the end. Okay, so we're getting ready to make our last piece for our wreath. And following along with the pattern that I kind of made for myself. Made some. There we go. Just gonna slip it down. And here we go. So with your last piece, here's the stilled one, and then you've got, so if you can see into here, you've got room for one piece, and we're gonna tuck this up underneath here so it looks like one continuous, and you can't tell where it started and where it ended. Just gonna kind of tuck it up in there, and then you're gonna get your wire and wrap it around. So there you go with a finished wreath, and let's see how we tie it off in the back. Make sure it's pulled nice and tight. I have only done this twice, so I'm gonna wrap it through one more time. And I have short arms, so you need to like just do your own, but I unwind it so that it's about up to my shoulder. Finally, you're gonna snip. And then if you have ever done hand sewing before, you'll know what I'm talking about. We're gonna make a little hook at the end right here, and we're gonna fit this through underneath the wires that we already have, keeping it tight, and then you're gonna put it back through the loop, making a knot. And if it doesn't tighten all the way, it's okay. I'm going to show you how to fix that at the end. And then we're going to take it back through one more time underneath everything and back through the loop, make our knot, and then we're going to make, I call them bunny ears. I don't know what they really are. It's nothing. It's just how we do it. You're going to put your wire in half. You're going to put your wire in half again. And if you've got a big wire like this, you can either leave it like this, or you can do it one more time, and you're gonna twist it so that you've made a little bow or little bunny ears, and you're just gonna roll it all the way down. And if you have a piece where it didn't really tie tightly and it's kind of loose, you're just gonna keep on rolling it until you've rolled all of that up inside as well, and then you're gonna lay it down flat so you have a nice flat piece to go against your wall or on your door, and you're not gonna scratch anything with sharp pieces being left over. So this is our wreath, and now we're gonna add pine cones. And remember I told you that it didn't matter if you had like a little piece right here, because this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna stick our pine cone right in here so you can't tell there's an empty spot. So the way you wire your pine cones, again, I always use my shoulder as my reference point. We are going to make it about this long. I find the center piece, and then we're going to take it down in the bottom, and we're gonna just kind of like weave it through these bottom pieces right here, and making sure it's somewhat even. And you're gonna twist a couple of times to hold it in place. And then you're gonna take your guy right here and wrap it around. We're just gonna pull it tight a couple of times, and then everything that we finish, we're gonna finish just like the bunny ears that we did earlier. And there you go, Bob's your uncle. Let's do the second one right about here, and the third one right about here. And then we're gonna put our bow up in here. You don't have to use pine cones, you don't have to use a bow, you don't have to do any of it. It's make it how you want it and do what you like. Pulling it tight. I always look at my wreath to decide where I want the top and where I want the bottom to be. And I'm kind of liking it like this. So I think I'm going to put the next pine cone right here. Hi, Rue. So this one's tight. It's a little bit hard to weave it, but just a little bit of patience and you should have no problem. So this guy I'm not going to do all the way because it's really tight on this side. And I'm just gonna twist it and then pop it in like that. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna learn how to make a bow, and I'll show you how to do that in just a sec. Okay, so you ready to make a bow? I love making bows, and we're gonna use Fa La La as our ribbon today. So what you're gonna do is I start by unrolling it all the way, so I'm not trying to hold my ribbon half made and unroll it at the same time. So you're gonna take your ribbon, and you're going to make your first little tail. It comes down to your elbow-ish, and you're going to pinch it and hold it right here. So this front side of the ribbon, you always want to have it facing you. So you're gonna make your first loop coming up, and you're going to twist because now it's not, you're gonna twist it so that the front side is facing you, and you're gonna lift it up back behind, and you're going to pinch it. And then you're just going to continue doing this one after the other until you have made your bow the size that you want. I think that with this ribbon, we can do 3 loops on each side. And here we go. Here's our ribbon. And it doesn't look wonderful, but we're going to find the center of our wire. And you're going to put it around the middle and pull tight and twist your ribbon while holding your wire securely. So you've got the ribbon all put together, and then you can form it however you would like. We're going to put our ribbon, we're going to offset it a little bit, and we're going to put it offset it a little bit, and we're going to put it on our bow like this, or I'm sorry, a wreath like this. We're going to attach it just the same way we attached everything else. So here's our wreath, our bow. We're going to fluff our bow, and then you can choose how you want your tails to go, and I just kind of like mine folded a little bit like this, and there you go. There's your wreath. Okay, so when you're doing your wreath in your kit, you also have your cinnamon sticks, and you also have the ornaments, and you can choose to use them or not use them. I like my wreath look the way it looks right like this, but you can also add your cinnamon sticks, because remember it's your wreath and you get to make it how you like. So you're just going to take your cinnamon sticks, and we're going to take our wire, and we're going to just twist them in here really tight, and then you're going to find where you want to put them, and you're just going to wire them in like you have everything else. So you put them here, put them in like this, just whatever it is, however you like to do it. And then with your ornaments, you can either do them singly, or you can put them all on the same wire. I'm putting them all of these on the same one, but you can also do just a couple at a time. And oops, this one is over here. And then you're just going to twist them together like we've been doing with everything else, and you're just going to put them in your and your wreath, however you want them to fit in your wreath. Looks super cute, and you're going to attach them just the way you attach your pine cones and the way you attach your cinnamon sticks and your ribbon. So super easy. And another idea that actually I did not figure this out on my own. I was doing a workshop, and a couple of the girls did this on their wreaths, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so great. And I told them I was stealing the idea, and so I am, and I'm going to show you too. So we're just going to put our wire through the bell or the ornament, whichever you have in there, and then they did theirs, and they added it to the inside of the ribbon, just like this. Isn't that cute? It's my new favorite way of making a bow. So let me tie it up real quick, and then we'll be done. Okay, so once you've got it like this, fluff again, because we just laid it upside down. How do you take care of it? So if you're down here in the south with us where it is unpredictable whether it's going to be warm and 87 degrees or it's going to be way too cold for us down here and it's going to be 50 degrees. No, I'm kidding. Down in the 30s. So what you're going to do is every 5 to 7 days, you're going to take this off of your door. And most people tell you to spritz it, but we have found that in the heat and humidity here, especially if it's on your front door where it gets full sun the whole time, you are going to want to lay it on the ground or put it in your bathtub, and you're just going to soak it with water and flip it over, and you're going to soak the back with water. Oops. And then you let it drip dry for, I don't know, like 10 minutes, hang it back up. And that's how you keep your wreath lasting well into at least the new year, if not into the middle of January. I hope you loved learning how to make your own wreath, and I hope you love your wreath kit and the experience. And thanks for watching. Bye.